location-wise, I think the most exotic has been in the Democratic Republic of Congo, specifically the Virunga National Park.
Mm-hmm.
And that trip I did Uganda, Rwanda, and Congo basically because I wanted to spend time with the mountain gorillas. So you have mountain gorillas,
Yes.
which are about 1,000 in number, and you have lowland gorillas, and which are in the valley side of Congo and so on. But most importantly is, like I said, places before they disappear or species before they disappear, right? Right now, it has a negative connotation because they call it bucket list travel or they've given various terms to it, travel. But I think the intent was to experience those because as an educator, if I want to tell something about gorillas and where they are and what they are, I need to see it, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just an armchair expert. And uh, the planning the trip itself is crazy because I was planning to go in November, December, and the village got bombed. And my guide said, "Come in April during Easter. It's a little more peaceful. The president would have stepped down, and there's a little more peace during that time."
So there are so many
And
different aspects to consider when
there's
you
so
are
many
planning
different
a trip,
aspects
right?
to it.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And typically, Virunga, you can enter from the Democratic Republic side of it, or you can more popular one is Rwanda, where you get a visa or a permit only for the Virunga National Park. So you
Okay.
can't go further into Congo. And obviously, before this, Tintin in the Congo and all that had happened. So you have a lot of inputs. The Congo
Yes.
movie by Michael Crichton, the
Oh,
book and
yes.
the movie had come
Very,
up, and
very
the
super
book
hit.
was phenomenal. Movie
Mm.
was not too bad. I mean, good for an adventure.
Mm.
So you had all these stories in
So
in
you have a lot
picture
of
and
nice build up in your mind.
build up in that sense. Tradition. So
Got it.
I had booked. There's something called the Nyiragongo volcano there, and
Man,
it
I
is the
have seen
largest.
videos about this. Okay, I'm so excited. Mm.
So it's the largest. So there are two large lava lakes. One is in Ethiopia, which is slightly flatter, and and this is possibly as big, but the highest inside. It's like a volcanic crater, and it's you could say the largest lava lake in the world. And so the trip involves hiking up the volcano, which is an 8-hour hike. You sleep on the rim of the volcano. There's some huts, and next day morning you come back. And I found it tough because I had lost my stamina by then, and I think I'd done an Everest base camp in 2002, 3 or something. I'd done some in Africa, Tanzania, that was 2012, and then not too many hikes.
But I
So,
still
and I
think a
was,
volcanic trek is a tougher trek because it's all through and through vertical only,
yes,
right? There is
and this
no.
trek is one of the toughest because it rains and you're walking on not hard ground but frozen
Mm.
lava rocks and so on. And
Course, yeah. Like you feel
yeah,
like you're
so
rolling down.
you have to be careful about your ankles, right? But it's like a walk in the park for people who regularly hike and climb. For me, and you can have, typically it is advised to have a porter because it's a
Mm.
source of income for them.
Yeah.
So I took two and I said I'll give $20 each. They were, so one, I mean, I had my own backpack for some food and snacks and water, but I was carrying a lot of camera gear by then. So
Right.
I kept one camera and I gave one full set of camera gear to one more person, and one more person who was carrying sleeping bags and other stuff uh,
Got it.
for another friend as well. And so there were 30 of us or going on the hike with about 15 porters or something like that.
Hmm.
And you also have armed guards coming with you because to a certain level, because you also have refugees. I'll talk about that a little later.
Yes.
And but you go up, and the first thing, the view from the top of the rim into looking into the lava lake is just phenomenal. So it is like, when you're mixing tomato soup, right? Like powdered tomato soup, like there's the solid part and there's the molten part, and you're trying to mix it up. So here is a constant mix of lava,
It is, are they like
melting and
bubbling all
cooling
the
and
time?
melting and cooling,
Oh.
and the temperature in the night, this side, if you put your hand of the rim, was about 0 degrees. It goes to freezing. Super cold, this side. this side, just putting your hand, you get to about 20 degrees. Take it a little further, it's about one level over 40 degrees. You can't step down into the rim to the next level until you have an aluminum foil suit or something like that, because it
Because I've
gets
heard they
to,
have terraces where people like researchers they
yeah,
step
so you
down
have to
kinds.
wear
You have
and
to
you
wear
can go
that.
to the next level. Right? So that was phenomenal. And so I took some photos, obviously, with that in my background. Uh,
So I've heard that you
and
can barely even see the lava in the day, but it's only visible once the sunset
I
kinds.
think
Is
the
that?
contrast is phenomenal. That's why you sleep
Oh.
overnight and spend time there. In
Hmm.
the daytime, the challenge also is that within the crater itself, you can have, if it's cloudy, right? So they can clouds which can come because it
Oh,
mixes with the steam. So it can become a
got it.
little thick in nature to get a
Like no
proper,
visibility kinds.
like low
Hmm.
visibility kinds.
Hmm.
And so that becomes a little better because in the night you have the lava, the contrast, so it kind of is better. And you do get pictures of the odd drone fallen into the lava on the ledges, uh,
Oh
and
my God.
there's also a French
Wow.
filmmaker who took a fall on the way back. So you're just walking down and he just took a tumble and went 20 feet and he had to be bandaged. And so it's because it's soft lava kind of balls and it's constantly stepping on balls and going, it's very easy to slip.
And
And
the trek down would be tougher, I would think. You can
slippery
only
and it rained
roll.
for 6 hours. So one of my camera lenses was completely gone.
Oh,
And but I just wanted to be drenched in the rain and like I got drenched for like see if your downhill is slightly faster, obviously. So you can get
correct.
down in about 4 or 5 hours. I'm guessing you don't need and obviously it's a descent. While it's bad for your knees, you still need the
Yeah.
sticks. About. But from a stamina standpoint, it's quite easy. Right. So you should be able to
And from
manage.
an experience standpoint, it is a must do.
It's a must do. It's one of those you'll never forget. Uh,
Oh,
Here, because it's also the largest lava lake, it's one of a kind experience.
yes,
So
yes.
definitely.
Yeah.
And the one thing which I went for obviously was the gorilla trek. And
Yeah. So I've followed a lot of these gorilla tracking, rescues, a
mhm.
lot of them. So I find it very, very interesting because they say that they are as close to human DNA as possible, right? And you have the silverback
Yeah,
ones, mountain gorillas, and I find them
yeah.
very interesting to just observe. So I watch a lot of those videos. So please tell lots and lots of stories about gorilla
So in terms
tracking.
of similarities, like you would say, right?